WRTR Real Talk Radio. Featured guest DJs, original shows, music news, the hottest DJs from around the world.
All right, Blacks, welcome to a new week of both WRTR Real Talk Radio and Talk2Treese with my guest host today.
Hey,
Treese, what's going on?
What's up, y'all? Nothing. Living life. Surviving.
I hear you. So we wanted to do something a little bit different for the holiday season because, it's Thanksgiving. Ninjas is out here just trying to, live, trying to be well. And with this political climate and everything that's happened this currently happening in the world, just every day a new headline, and it's very easy to find yourself lost in the sauce, especially if you aren't a person that has subscribed to politics or, really current events and things, things that haven't really impacted your life. You don't really know what's going on and you haven't really made, those motions to kind of get it. Well, now you don't really have that choice anymore. So Treese and I were talking on Inbox and stuff. And we decided to, just put together a Black wellness podcast for just this evening only,
Yes. Put something together for you all.
Yep, absolutely. So for my demographic and everything, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, Miss Treese.
All right, y'all. Well, I'm Miss Treese, okay? I have a podcast called Talk2Treese. It's Instagram based. You can come and see it at The Real Miss Treese. I'm just a woman from the DMV trying to live this life, enjoy life. That's all. I'm just a working woman. I'm a mom, and I'm just here to enjoy while I'm here.
Right. And she also does, like she said, she does a weekly podcast. And one of the things that I like about your podcast is the fact that you take, you take the opportunity each week to just come out, sit down and just, sort out wellness tips for people. And I was like, what? I like that. You know what? Let me try something new this week,
Yes. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Not every Wednesday, guys, but every other Wednesday.
Okay.
At 8 p.m. Eastern time. Just join in and we just talk about life and really just unload.
Yeah.
Unload, be real with one another. No judgment. That's it.
I hear you. So, maintaining Black wellness in this political climate. So, in true WRTR fashion, one of the ways that we usually start the show is we start with our moods, and we start with, today we're going to do a When I Grow Up, and I'm going to talk about, a Black therapist. But in the meantime, what's your mood like this week, Miss Treese? How you feeling?
My mood this week, I am feeling very happy to eat. No, I'm excited. I'm excited. I love fall, and I love this time of the year because I'm really a person that loves to get into themes around the house. So it's just, this week is a feel-good week. My 9 to 5 is thriving, and we're making way at our dental office. Yep. And I just feel good. I feel blessed because things could be worse. So that's my mood this week. Happy and thankful.
Absolutely. Love to hear it.
How about you?
My mood is kind of all over the place, but I'm feeling like more so, I'm trying to get into the holiday spirit. One thing about me around holidays, it's not necessarily, always reflective of a fun time for me. So I find myself, these days just trying to get back to myself and kind of just get into the groove of the holidays, not necessarily the undertones, all the, everything that goes on with the holidays, but just, just being in a mood to receive, the warmth and I guess overall fellowship and everything.
Gearing to get there. Right.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Right. So let's kick off this talk and start with When I Grow Up. So when I grow up, I want to be like Dr. Mamie Phyllis Clark. So Dr. Clark wasn't just a therapist. She was a pioneer who understood that mental health is crucial for the well-being of Black folks. So she was born in 1917. So that should tell you. And the way that, I guess, do you remember back in the day, they had the doll test where the children would look at different dolls, and like the kids would go and they would go, it was like a psychology test.
Okay.
So the dolls were laid out. It was a black doll, white doll, it was two dolls, a black doll, and a white doll. Most of the children would pick the white doll thinking that the white doll was better. And they would ask them probing questions like, which doll is better? Which doll is prettier? And those kinds of things. And it kicked off, well, not kicked off, but it, at least in my opinion, started one of the bigger conversations about what it is that's forced on us as a community and how that reflects in how we view ourselves. I mean, they were asking children this. So,
right.
This doctor, she started those conversations. So yeah, definitely somebody I want to be like when I grow up. And as we're talking about mental health and how to be, Black today.
Right.
I mean, it's so all the homage to her, because we can't move forward until we know where we've come from.
Right. Well, now that you say that, I do remember seeing the doll sessions. And that's interesting to hear that children would, I guess, migrate towards the white doll.
Right.
Even in the stores, you have Barbie, or you have the Cabbage Patch doll, you have the brown one or the white one. And you notice even, Black little girls, they go for the white ones all the time. I think one year I remember asking my daughter, why don't you want the brown one? Just to hear what her response would be. How come you didn't pick that one? Why this one? Yeah.
It's always mind-blowing to me because, I don't have children. So it's mind-blowing to me to be able to ask my peers on, how, they view or how their experiences with their kids are coming up. So to see that and wow.
Yeah, I kind of, forced it one time. Like, of course, my daughter has plenty of dolls that are tan and that are cream. And there's been times where I was like, no, we're going to get the brown one. Let's get the brown.
I know that's right.
You need to connect. You need to be connecting.
I know that's right. Wow.
Yeah, you need to see yourself in every moment,
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this the impact of the political climate right now. You want to get into that first?
Let's get into that.
So everybody knows by now, Trump won. We are all sitting here. There's a lot of talk back and forth. There's a lot of speculation. Nobody really knows what to expect. I also have some myths versus reality that we can get into a little bit further into the show. But, with everybody feeling a lot of different types of ways, it's often, it's very hard to find your balance.
Right.
Us as the community, we've always been told to, or been taught to, in the face of adversity, just put your best foot forward and just push through and keep going and this, that, and the third. But now we're in an era to where it almost feels like everything that we've worked for is being snatched away like in one big move.
Yeah. Just like that.
Yeah.
All of the steps.
Right.
The bricks. Yeah.
And for the majority of the community, the majority of the community acted right. It was 92% Black women. Shout out to y'all. Because it was 22% of us that couldn't get it right.
Yeah.
That's for me and my demographic. But, shout out to y'all. Y'all got it right. But even that being said, it's, it can feel like a lot of this stuff is being taken away from us. A lot of the gains that we've made, a lot of the movements just bam, pulled away.
Just like that. Unbelievable.
And it's very hard to keep your head up and push forward when you're feeling that way. You know, it's unrealistic almost to think that people will just be able to turn the other cheek and move forward.
Yeah.
With you, what have been some of the things that you've witnessed recently that have kind of made you say, kind of made you say, what?
Things that make you say, I honestly,
as far as wellness and everything.
Yes. You honestly have to grab yourself and not go too far out in the water, because you will have high blood pressure, be upset. You know, you be taking steps backwards in your mind, just thinking about where we've come from. So for me, the first stage, of course, is acceptance, you know, and it's hard to accept such a horrible decision. So, like you said, I think we just don't even know what's gonna happen. So I think right now it's a little bit of on edge. You know, we're kind of on edge. I'm kind of on edge, like what's gonna transpire in so many different areas: education, you know, government, benefits, older people, our senior citizens. So many concerns. You know. So getting into wellness, now we are in the times where you need to pray, you need to meditate, you need to push all the positivity you can right in front of you. Surround yourself with, No,
I was going to just on the praying part. So we're talking about Black wellness and everything. And when it comes to like spiritual, emotional, community, all of those wellnesses, like, how is it, you know, I've heard a lot of talk of people saying, oh, you just got to pray and this, that, and the third. And I mean, while that's a very novel concept, how is it, I've seen people, they're questioning everything right now.
Oh, yes.
There's a lot that has been taught to us in our communities that just simply isn't, you know, like you said, you know, it's like you want to keep faith, but it's very hard to do so.
It is. I mean, even my oldest daughter, she's about to be 16. And when the election night happened, she asked me, she was like, Mom, how is it that God has allowed so much stuff? She was like, you know, even from the very beginning, haven't we gone through the worst? How could this person that is so powerful, how could he have allowed so much pain on us? She asked that straight up.
How old is your daughter?
15, about to be 16.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's tough. What did you, how did you respond? I mean, what did you say?
You know, I told her, you know, on a spiritual and biblical side that, you know, just like there's a God, there's also a devil, you know, who has power and had power and flex their forces. And that's shown up in the most horrible ways, you know, including slavery and including what you see right now, you know.
Taylor Swift. So, no, I'm kidding.
What'd you say?
I said Taylor Swift. No.
It's a lot.
It really
is a lot.
But
it has really exposed where people stand. You know,
it really
and
has.
Where a lot of them have always stood.
Yeah, it's true. And I think that America, that as a country, we've just become, I think it's become comfortable for white people. I feel like it's become comfortable for them to just put it on paper now, because it's all of the things that we've known to be that play out in our faces all the time that we've consistently been able to point at and be like, hey, so just so you know, this is going on, and it's right here, and here's an example. But see, now with you have like the head bigot running the country, and everybody, it emboldens everyone else to do so much more. I mean, we look at his first term and all of the things that have come about, the Karen thing, that was literally birthed. The idea of a Karen was birthed from that first presidency.
Absolutely. I think that the country, and I want to say a good friend of mine, podcast buddy, Hunter, actually spoke on this. I think that America in a whole, we're under like the most largest narcissistic umbrella I've ever seen.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, because it's like this, it's this weird illusion of, oh no, I don't feel that way. I don't believe that.
Right.
But fueling it and helping it at the same time.
Right. Your words do not match your actions. Like, what are you doing?
Crazy.
It's so strange. It is strange. And to watch it play out, everybody wants to use the spirituality aspect. You know, y'all did not vote for that black woman because you said that for whatever reason. Like, you had so many different forces at play. You had misogyny. You had misinformation. It is my personal opinion that a lot of what people are seeing, like on social media and stuff, like you look at the fact that Elon bought X or Twitter or whatever, and then you see how everything now is algorithmic. Everything is run by an algorithm. So the same things that I'm going to see as a black gay man, you're not going to see as a straight black woman. However, every now and again, you might see something different. And I think that a lot of that has been used to, you know, I feel like, you know, a lot of that has been used to, you know, win the election, because you now have a lot of people coming out and they're like, well, I didn't know that this was going on, and I didn't know that that was going to happen. It's like,
so much manipulation and control.
Right. Because we would all watch the news and we'll be like, I know white people are seeing this and face palm and this, that, and the third, but who's to say that they even saw half of the things that we did?
Right. And that's where, you know, research and caring enough to look further has to happen. But I definitely feel like the algorithms are highly controlled. Can you imagine what a Caucasian person's feed really looks like?
Oh, I don't want to. No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I honestly, I'm going to be honest. You know, I have Caucasian friends, and I feel that one of them, I literally feel like she has come off of social media because of what her algorithm has displayed to her.
Wow.
Yep. And I feel that it was so foul and eye-opening, she doesn't even want to see it.
Wow.
And just like that professor said on that interview, I forget what college that was. Was it Princeton? He told that woman at the interview, you don't want to believe it. You don't want to believe that it's exactly what it is.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that happening also. There's a lot.
Yes, a lot. So that's why I'm like, it's this narcissistic, delusional, unaccountable, one big monster.
It is weird.
Yeah.
But there are ways to even maintain your mental health as you go through this. First thing, listeners, that I would recommend is if you are black and listening to the sound of my voice right now, get your black ass a black therapist.
Amen.
You hear me? Because there is nothing like, now, therapy, if you can't afford a black therapist, one is not available to you, yada, 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 fine. Get you a therapist. But one of the benefits of having a black one is because a lot of the times you don't have to then stop and then dissect how you feel as it relates to being a black person.
Yeah,
you don't have to explain the nuances and the tricks of the trade of being black to somebody
Yeah.
that's not Black that, may have a harder time understanding.
Yeah. Yep.
You don't always have that. You don't have to deal with that when you have a Black therapist.
Yeah. Because he can relate. He can relate.
They can, definitely.
Here we go, right
and
here.
I tell you, having a Black therapist myself, baby.
Me too.
I tell you that I don't have to worry about that nonsense. It'll be a conversation like, oh, well, these white people did this, that, and the third. And we can kind of like, it catapults over all the bullshit that you got to go back and explain this, that, and the third, and then fight with the therapist back and forth and argue. And they want to challenge your thoughts. I've had to deal with all of that with a Black therapist, straight through.
I mean, you have to confide in someone that can, on this, when we're talking on this page, political, that can relate to you on some level,
baby.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what that looks like with having a white therapist and expressing these things.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually looking for a therapist online right now. Yep. What you said?
You're looking for a new one?
It's one that I know. I'm looking for his credentials.
Gotcha.
Related, but yeah.
So do you know of any organizations or initiatives right now focused on Black mental health or wellness? Other than the, lines that we already have with, therapists and otherwise. Because I've heard of different groups organizing, but I haven't heard anything concrete yet because everything's just still, everything's developed. Every day it's a different headline.
Yeah.
Like Walmart just rolled back their DEI programs and stuff. Like, what? Y'all rolling back prices and equality. Go Walmart.
Yeah. No, I don't know of any groups. Oh, here it is right there. I don't know of any groups, but I do know a Black male therapist who is based in Virginia, Ashore Care Therapeutic Services. Not only is he a therapist, he specializes in family restoration, marriages and family, blended families, everything that falls under the family umbrella. But he also does something separate. He does a male group several times a month, and he travels. I have to get the areas. I know it's Virginia, but he does virtual sessions.
Okay.
He is very passionate about the Black community and the wellness of Black males. When I tell you, when I listen to him just express what he's seen for the past few years and the relationship of women and Black men, but also Black men and what they go through, we need like 10 million of him. Wow. He is there for men that are going through all types of things.
Right.
All types of things, from childhood to relationships to family, so I highly recommend him to all Black people, and especially Black men.
Right. And I'll tell you what, like, as a Black man, there are, really the only community outreach that I know, personally, are usually the churches. But
the churches, yeah,
it's usually the churches. Like, when I was growing up, they had so many different kinds of clubs, and maybe they still have them, like mentorship groups or maybe retreats, male retreats. But we had Boys and Girls Club growing up. That was always given the negative connotation because you had
but
the
they
Boy
used to
Scouts,
have the Big Brother. My little brother had the Big Brother program.
Yeah,
that
one
was
too.
So good. Yeah,
not about that one.
But those are things where you need healthy, thriving Black men that are willing and able to reach back.
Right.
Right now, we're in a world where men have hurt and have suffered so bad. I don't even know if Big Brother, how much that's around right now. That's just sad. But that's a needed entity there. Yep.
Yep, definitely so. I'm gonna pull up some groups and everything happening right now as we
Yeah, we
go
can get
to.
into that different groups. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, we'll take a quick break and be right back with that info.
All right.
It's come to my attention that some of you ladies are out here running on fumes, not getting proper rest, exhausted, and teetering on the edge of burnout. So let's talk about the 7 types of rest that every Black woman needs. Rest is non-negotiable. Repeat after me. Rest is non-negotiable. And once you start incorporating these 7 types of rest into your lifestyle, I promise you, you will feel better. Number 1 is physical rest, most commonly thought of as sleeping and napping. And while that is physical rest, that is just one form of physical rest known as passive physical rest. There's also active physical rest, which includes things like yoga, meditation, massages, and things of that nature. Number 2 is mental rest. I want you to think about mental rest as anything that allows you to unpack the rigors of the day. So things like meditation, mindfulness activities, deep breathing, and even regular therapy sessions with your mental health professional. Number 3 is emotional rest, and this allows us to rid ourselves of any excess anxiety, worry, and self-doubt. It also allows us to feel our feelings and then release and move on. Emotional rest also helps us gain clarity on our environment and who's in it, how we need to create boundaries, and teach people how to treat us. Number 4 is spiritual rest. Now, don't confuse this with religious practices or rituals. Spiritual rest is really about allowing ourselves time and space to connect with something greater than ourselves and hone in on our purpose and our destiny. Number 5 is social rest. And while it's number 5, it's equally as important as all of the others. Social rest is when we take an opportunity to detach ourselves from people in real life and in digital spaces. So that can include something like a social media detox or even planning a solo vacation. And if push comes to shove, sitting in your car for 30 minutes alone can definitely be a form of social rest. Number 6 is sensory rest, because sensory overload is real. Some ways to get good sensory rest is by dimming the lights, reading a book, putting on soft music, or even indulging in listening to white noise. And finally, we come to number 7, which is creative rest. And for some people, this one can be hard to wrap your mind around. Creative rest is essentially you taking a break from always being the producer, the one who is manufacturing or conjuring energy, and stepping into a space that allows you to indulge in the creative energy of others. So that could look like going to an art gallery, a museum, a walking tour of your neighborhood or the neighborhood or city next door, or even doing a nature walk or hike. Black women, please start indulging in rest as an act of self-preservation.
So it appears that the Ku Klux Americans have added a new code word to the dog whistle glossary. Someone on Twitter made a list. A few of them are woke, affirmative action, critical race theory, Chicago, urban, thug, you people. And the latest one is DEI. In 2023, the Colonizer Collective drafted at least 65 laws targeting diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. And the argument is that Americans should get jobs and education based on merit rather than race or any other marginalized identity. Which is ironic, because if not for this country's long-standing reputation of systemic discrimination, there would not be such an emphasis on diversity, equity, or inclusion. And if there are any doubts that the gripes about DEI are rooted in racism, that term is now being weaponized against any Black person that the lynching lizards want to invalidate. Last year, former president of Harvard, Claudine Gay, resigned from her position after being attacked by an anti-DEI activist who used exaggerated claims of plagiarism to push her out. Earlier this year, commentator and racist Charlie Kirk made headlines for saying that if he saw a Black pilot on an airplane, he would immediately question their qualifications. As you all know, recently the Key Bridge in Baltimore collapsed, killing 6 people, which somehow ignited a fury of racist tweets towards the mayor of Baltimore, Brandon Scott. They labeled him a DEI mayor and blamed him for the bridge collapsing. Y'all, these are the motherfuckers who are allowed to vote and have driver's licenses. And lastly, I propose a new term that is actually very fitting when you think about it. Supremacy hire.
WRTR Real Talk Radio.
All right, we're back, Blacks, and I got that info for you. So there are apparently several impactful programs. So,
right?
Yeah, blew my mind. So they focused on the wellness of Black men, focusing on mental health, community support, and personal development. So here are the more notable ones that I've been able to pull up. So there's the Black Men's Health Initiative. This program aims to improve the health and wellness of Black men through education, outreach, and advocacy. It focuses on addressing health disparities and encourages Black men to engage in preventative health measures. So that's more so healthy, for the body, kind of.
Okay.
You have the Brotherhood / Sister Soul. Now, this organization serves both young men and women, and it has a strong focus on empowering Black and Latino males. So they provide like the kind of holistic support through mentorship, education, looks like wellness, and some programs that even address mental health and leadership and personal development. So, for looks like just marginalized groups mainly.
Okay. What was the first one called?
It was called the Black Men's Health Initiative.
Okay.
Okay. Another one that I'm looking up, it says the Black Man's Lab. So this initiative looks like it focuses on pretty much like creating safe spaces for Black men to kind of discuss their experiences, their challenges, their successes. Looks like it offers, this one offers workshops, support groups, and events aimed at mental health and community connections.
Gosh, you know what? There's a page on Instagram. I wish I should have written that down, guys. That reminds me of that. They it seems like it's a safe space for men, and it's a group of men that sit around and they share so many things. And it's been nice to just sit back and watch it. I got to get the name of that. I'll get the name of that. Yep.
There's one, the 100 Black Men of America. This organization focuses on mentoring young Black males and providing them with positive role models.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not just all about males. I mean, like I said, there are programs about women too, or for women.
Okay.
Let's see. I am looking up, and it's Sister Circles. So
Sister Circle.
Yeah, it's these are community-based support groups created for Black women, safe spaces and everything. It's the Black Women's Health Imperative, much like the ones that I just spoke about with the brothers. It's the same for the sisters. But one of the things that pulled up for me for the women is this initiative called Sisters Taking Action.
Sisters Taking Action. Okay.
Sisters Taking Action. Like it's the Black sister. So this program focuses on empowering Black women through health education, advocacy, and community organizing, and it aims to address health disparities to promote wellness, particularly in underrepresented communities. So if you guys want this info, hit us up at WRTR Real Talk Radio or at Treese, at the Real Miss Treese.
Yes. I just want to tell everyone that I follow someone on Instagram that I believe is great for male leadership and women as well.
Okay.
His page name is I Am Isaac Curry.
Okay.
I just think he's very insightful, and he has a great skill in breaking down one's thought process on many different things in such a relatable way. And I just feel like all people, you listening to us, our Black people, please follow I Am Isaac Curry.
Yes.
He just speaks and gives you answers on things without a debate.
Wow. Love that.
Yeah.
So another thing that I kind of wanted to touch on, it's like perception versus reality. I talked about it a little bit earlier.
Like that.
given what we actually know as of today, like our time of recording, November 26th, it's a lot of questions. It's a lot of perception versus actual realities. A couple of them that I wanted to talk about is like the perception. First one, economic growth for everybody. Some may highlight, like, you know, from Trump's previous terms, low employment rates. It's important to recognize
I call them false facts.
Yes, they are. They really are. You kind of like, you got to look at what's actually happening here. So you got this person that we, you know, is now the president-elect. And he's already cutting out, like, he has not even been given the keys yet, girl. And he is already cut, like, again, I'll use Walmart as an example. They've now cut out their DEI program. How many jobs off break are like from jump? How many jobs did that cut? That's before he even gets, or before they even get into the intricacies of everything.
Yeah.
Law and order policies, like, he's going to improve safety, and the reality is the narrative of law and order is often championed during Trump's previous presidency. It disproportionately affects us as Black people, because now this guy has put into play, like, he does not believe that police officers should be punished or penalized for, like, if they go out and you go to raise your hand and you got your keys in your hand and they think it's a gun and they shoot you. Well, at that point, he doesn't think that officer should be charged.
Right, not liable.
Because he was just doing his job.
Yep.
So the Breonna Taylors, the George Floyds, the number, like, the growing and ever, like, there's so many hashtags of people that have been wrongfully unalived by police and officers that have faced convictions. Now there's like, oh, well, Trump's going to bring law and order, and he's this, that, and the third. We're already over policed in our community.
We are. Well, I want to say first, starting with Walmart, honestly, Black people should boycott Walmart.
I've been saying that, but go ahead.
Black people built Walmart. I know maybe it started off first in the suburbs, but that's so disrespectful.
It is.
All the money that has been spent from the Black dollar in Walmart, and we have seen where Walmart stands.
Before Trump even gets the keys, Walmart was like, oh, okay, roll that DEI shit back.
Yeah, that is wild.
Get out of here. Like, what?
Yeah. And with the police, what do you call it? What is it called? The police
KKK?
Yeah. The same thing that they're doing for him and his charges, immunity.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw back when he was president before how empowered they felt and what they were doing. It was at an all-time high.
Really was.
I would say it honestly kind of went down. I think maybe if we need to pull up the statistics and see, did it kind of decrease under Biden? I believe it did, because when he was in, it was at an all-time high, police brutality. And now it's going to go right back that way.
It really is. And now,
I can't even say I don't understand how a country can vote someone in that says something like that, because I do understand. But not only has he spoken, our little crazy universe and world has spoken that they are okay with police getting away with killing others. Like you said, the KKK has been put in uniforms and empowered all over again.
Right. And to what you said you do understand. I don't. Now I can accept the reality. I mean, it's right here in our faces, and don't, like, I'm not shocked. That statement doesn't mean that I'm shocked. I'm just saying I don't understand the logic behind it, because again, you're talking about, we're going to just make this whole country better. First it was the terror. It's like people want to dance around the truth instead of actually tackling what the issue is. America's got a real big problem with racism. We got a real big problem with drugs. We've got a real big problem with alcohol. And we have a really big problem with undereducated people in high places. We have let undereducated people literally run this country. Elon can't run a goddamn. He can't run a hot dog stand.
A hotel owner and a reality TV entertainer is what Donald Trump is. And
now we all on Survivor. Like, it's just,
exactly.
It's like, what is this bullshit?
You know what is so crazy? When he first was elected, and just that alone showed you where we were in a hole. Not us, them. That you people come off like you are so educated and you're so bougie and you require so much, when really you don't require anything. You require some really, and you guys are the thugs. You always have been. It started with slavery. You all are the bad ones up the street, because you are willing to let a clown and a destructive person lead you, because you don't require better.
The rhetoric, like nationalism. Come on now, y'all. Nationalism.
This is a man that had a show called The Apprentice. He's made some hotel decisions with dad helping him from the very beginning, allowed to run a country without a degree in any law, anything.
It's so funny watching this clown show and everything that plays out, but it's disheartening because, like you said earlier in the show, you don't know where you stand with, your Meemaw and them that get assistance, or some of those programs. You don't know where you stand with your disabled cousin that maybe gets food stamps. Like, you don't know. Like, there's a lot at stake.
But as a Black person, don't you just sometimes? I am just in awe at what life really has been and what it has become.
Okay, elaborate.
It's like, how do things get this much out of control? And I have to keep going back to the beginning. Clearly, the foundation was out of control from the very beginning. But how does millions let something just happen like this? To me, it speaks to who everyone is.
It really is. It really does.
And they are willing to lie about their own selves. I don't stand for the bad stuff. I don't stand for the bad stuff. I just want to be able to, purchase my home and get tax cuts and have eggs cheap. That's really.
You sold out your neighbor for some cheaper eggs. Like, and then you want the rest of us to believe that. Sure.
It's like they are what he is. We watch Trump kind of just lie, and then he will say, I didn't say that. I didn't do that. His followers are the same. They voted for him. But we don't stand for bad. We don't stand for what he's doing.
Oh, we don't know what that is. What?
But you voted for
him. Are you okay? Right. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Have, when it comes to the Black community, I know that around that time that Kamala first said that she was running, a lot of our community kind of disappointed me. I came off a little angry on quite a few podcast episodes of this show. So
we came out like some straight haters.
Listen. But I want to know, have you personally had to roll back some friendships or maybe some relationships, or even with family ties? Have you had any kind of like people that were around you? Because I mean, I know that as we enter this Thanksgiving week, it's a couple of days away. So a lot of us, we're being thrown into that time where we gonna see them aunties and uncles.
Wait a minute.
And you don't like, what do you do with that relative that voted for Trump?
I'm actually glad that I don't have one that's going to be immediately in my home. First of all, you wouldn't be invited. I can't even imagine what some families are going through right now.
Hold on. It'd be low key, somebody reaching for a turkey wing. And as they pick up the turkey wing, they say, well, I voted for Trump. I don't give a shit. I wasn't going to vote for no woman. As they bite into their turkey leg. And then everybody's just sitting there with their mouth agape. So, I mean, what the hell?
That's when you offer your amazing strawberry dessert with Pepto-Bismol in it. It's cut off for, it's so funny because when you go on Facebook, Facebook is kind of like the cookout family reunion where everybody's there and everyone's whispering in their own little groups at the cookout. I saw someone's post and say, I have found myself cutting off people that I've known for years. And I stand behind that. I have, unfollowed people. I wasn't really friends with. I have unfollowed some people when I saw where they stand. And those were just like acquaintances. Family members, I don't have any immediate family. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
I have a close family member that refused to vote either way. Because he just couldn't vote for a woman.
Okay.
So I haven't cut him off, but we don't talk a lot. But he knows that I know that he knows he's a clown. And I won't speak on what my relation is with him. I have some friends who have not said who they voted for. Actually, it's disheartening, and it's like when Steve Harvey said back in the day when I was at Kings of Comedy, you just let me further know where you stood, even with your silence. I have a friend where, it speaks volumes. I attempted to talk about it with a friend. She told me, I'll be right back. Never came back. What? Never came back. And let me say that. Let me back that up. Days. It was days. And when she came back, she did not pick up the conversation where we left. I asked her. Never answered. Never answered. Yep. And it's so unfortunate. But the decision has to be made. I do believe that Black people have taken it on the chin enough. I think that we smile in the face of our enemies enough, that being Hollywood. You see all those celebrities mixed in, and hey, this my brother, this my sister, and it's mixed, and it's white and Black. Prove it. You my brother, you my sister, prove it. Wow. So I'm all for cutting them off. I am. I will cut my mama off if she vote for Trump.
No, and you know what? As harsh as that sounds, it's very, very real. Because this election, unlike any of the past, like I want people to have these real conversations, because I think for a very long time we've kind of, it's always been, it has been the price of eggs, or whatever that has, kind of been, I guess, the deciding point on people in an election. But this particular election was simply, in my opinion, about morals.
Morals. That is so, you're on point. Yep.
You're voting against who I am. You're voting against my well-being. You're voting for the person that then believes me to not be equal to you as a person. You're voting for a person that wants to see my life be either ended or very, very hard before it's ended.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's not just one of those things to where I voted for Trump and pass the grapes or the cranberry sauce or whatever. Like, it's very, I want to say, no, it's a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker for both family, friends, and life. Yeah. I don't like you. You are dangerous to me.
You're dangerous to me. You know how people say if a person can't take you for their word, they can't take you for nothing. They can't believe you for nothing. My dad always says that. But when it comes to this, if I cannot see the moral compass in you, then I can't see you in any way. And your lack of moral compass is a complete insult and execution of my moral compass. And we can no longer be.
Very true.
And we have to stand somewhere. If you don't stand up somewhere, then you will never stand. And that's what, Black people have to learn even until today. And that's what they had a little bit more back in the day. That's why the civil rights movement happened. It has to be a unison, solid movement. And as well as white people that know right from wrong. Exactly. You got to stand.
Exactly. Yeah. But in order to get there, a lot of us have to heal ourselves. And as we get back into talking about therapy and everything, you have to work on you first before you do anything else. You have to put on your mask before you assist the other passengers in the cab.
Right.
Because it literally, that's how it works. And a lot of us, have been force-fed a lot of our belief systems. We've been force-fed religion. We've been force-fed our education. We've been told what to like, what's hot, what's not, and nobody, like, everything about individuality has kind of been blurred throughout the past. At least I want to say, at least my lifetime.
Yeah,
it's been increasingly more blurred to blur out the individual and to kind of force you into this box. And I think for a lot of people, like, the purpose of going to therapy is to reconnect to your sense of self. And I think that's missing for a lot of people. People don't know what they stand. People don't know what they stand for anymore.
Yeah,
they simply don't.
They don't.
Sorry, I keep clearing my voice or clearing my throat because my voice is acting up. But
no worries. Yeah.
I apologize, but the sense of self it's missing, and it shows. You have people out here that don't know their ass from a hole in the wall.
Right.
And I'm all down for people trying to find themselves. I'm all down for people, trying new things and just trying to develop a better sense of life for themselves. But not at the expense of someone else's life.
Right.
That's where we are right now.
Yeah. The expense of someone else's life.
You believe differently from me, so I feel like you should not be here.
Everything seems like it boiled down to morals, and then it showed who was selfish.
It did.
It just shows who is selfish. And so you have some people, many people, as we're seeing, that their stance is, how was this going to benefit me? And that was it. That was their only thought process. They didn't consider anyone else in that. And that's just, you shouldn't do that. I can't say that's not how it works, because clearly that's how it's working. But you shouldn't do that. Yeah. the very thing that they are so excited about America. Oh, our America. Oh, the great. Oh, the place of the free, and the place that's so different and eloquently set apart from other places is the exact opposite.
It really is. And
which is why they don't want to stand at the football games. So it's just, like I said, big narcissistic coat we're wearing.
It really is. So as we draw the show a little bit to a close, I know we're getting towards the end.
Yes, no.
I know, but do you have any kind of, what advice do you think that you would give to somebody who was searching for a therapist that kind of understands, I'm Black, I'm trying to find somebody that's for me? Like, what kinds of things can you offer from your personal experiences that have helped you pick the right therapist for yourself?
My advice would be, people always say, sometimes you do have to shop around, you have to try, see who you mesh with, of course, see what feels right. But a lot
of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that.
They just go to one and they're like, okay, I'm here.
Right.
Yeah.
And if they don't like them, they just up and stop. They just decide to stop going.
Yeah. So. I would say in my experience, and I do think I lucked up because I think I have the best therapist ever. I don't know how I did life without him before meeting him. But he does have a spiritual base in him, and he is not just preaching to me like a preacher would, but it is for me comforting and knowing there's another foundation there in him.
Right.
And it just peeks in here and there in our sessions, not all the time. And that's only that works for me. But for people that are looking, keep all of that in mind. Is that something that you're open to? Is that something that would help things or give you more clarity or confirmation? I suggest you find a Black therapist, and there's plenty of amazing female therapists. Shout out to Dr. Bryant. I think she's doing a really good job. She's new, just a sensation on Instagram and everywhere else. But I have a male therapist, and I think that the male leadership is so needed. Yeah.
Now, see, for me, I used to have I used to do Black women therapists only because, gay and Black. So it's just like I wanted a Black female therapist. But as I'm working through some more of my deeper family issues, I find that my current male therapist is a lot more impactful in where I'm going. So some of the avenues that I would offer you guys are betterhelp.com. They have and Talkspace, because then you go on, and depending on when you go, you may find you'll get a gauge of different therapists. So you may not have the same one depending on what issues you're dealing with. So it gives you an opportunity to kind of shop around and decide what it is that you like, see what things you like versus what things you don't, and what ultimately works for you. I have a gay Black friend that has a white woman therapist for God knows what, but it works for him.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
It is what it is. And then I just want to let everyone know, if you're looking for a therapist, then I can recommend one. You can go to his website and just check everything out. Request a consultation. The webpage is ACTS221.services, and ACTS is ACTS and then the number 221.services.
Nice.
Okay. Yes, and that's an ACTS from the Bible. That's good. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Work. All right, Miss Treese. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me today.
Thank you.
Making me feel all good and everything. So
yes.
Once again, why don't you float your information to the listeners so they can definitely look you up, check you out, and maybe give you a follow.
Yes, guys. Please follow me on Instagram at The Real Miss Treese. And there you will get some positive content. You can tune into my Talk2Treese show on Wednesday nights where we're talking about just community-based and relationship-based issues. Also go to my TikTok page for more cozy content and just good talk. And that's going to be at The Real Miss Treese. Okay. And I just want to say that's TheRealMissTreese. Okay. And I just want to say on the wellness page right now, do what makes you feel happy. You have to pour into you.
You really do.
Any level. For me, I want flowers in my bedroom every day. I want to wake up to them. I want beautiful smelling candles. And I want to just live from theme to theme. Christmas theme, Thanksgiving theme, fall theme. Just surround yourself with positivity. The little things. Yeah.
Because God knows if you turn on the TV, 5 minutes in, you ready to set
that TV on fire.
You are.
Set that TV on fire. I'm telling you.
Oh man, Miss Treese, thank you so much. Like you said, you guys, you gotta check out her show because she ain't ratchet like I tend to be, but it's good, it's wholesome fun. I've never heard you cuss on your show.
Oh my God, if my kids could hear that you say that.
Well, you don't cuss to us.
I'm trying to stop. And
that's a good habit to break. Cause
yes,
tell you,
I just got a problem with the beaver. Thank you, Marcus, for having me. This was great. I can't wait to come back.
Absolutely, and we can't wait to have you again. Don't worry, y'all. We are still coming back. Lyric and I have a different recording schedule now, so we're gonna be recording on Saturdays. So we will. Yeah, the show will probably drop on the weekends now, just to see if we appeal to a more, to a different demographic. During the week, everybody crazy during the week, and now you got
for real
everything happening. It's a lot going on.
Everything.
So we changed up our recording schedule, but we will be back for our normal show. Thank you so much for this bonus episode, Miss Treese.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We'll talk to y'all again soon, and we'll holler at y'all on WRTR Real Talk Radio. Bye.
Bye.
WRTR Real Talk Radio.
This week's show featured work from TikTok creators Chris the Author and Asaya M Wellness, using our platform to amplify your voices.